What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Lil Crowbar. Here today, we're going to be making some jungle music. I'm going to be making this video mostly to teach you how to use FL Studio, or how I use FL Studio. And I want to explain that mostly by making jungle music. I think jungle music is such a brilliant thing because of its simplicity, and I think that simplicity allows the genre to be made anywhere. And so today we're going to explore FL Studio through the use of making jungle music. First thing to do, 160 best BPM. Or at least that's what we're using today. I guess I should explain a little bit about FL Studio. It might be overwhelming at first, but don't worry, you can do this. Tempo is up here. It's how fast the song goes. This is our metronome, which is important because it'll help you keep track if you're recording something. We won't be recording anything today, but we can. So that's the tempo. So here we speed up the song, slow it down. Simple, easy, fun. But let's get to the fun stuff. Let's get to some actual tunes. So most music, at least in terms of production, comes based around samples, right? You need sounds to manipulate. Now, you can create sounds on your own, or you can find sounds. Jungle specifically is built around sampling, so I'm going to go and find some sample packs. I'm going to download some files, whether they're drums, leads, pads, and some melodies, whatever it is. I'm going to download it from the internet, and I'm going to import it into here. So I've got a couple different almond breaks. They're all pretty good. Let's see if we can't find one. There's this Blue Marten sample pack that's very popular. Everybody has been using it, and for good reason. And I suggest downloading it too because it's perfect for making jungle music. In fact, we'll find a break from there. So this is a jungle music specific thing. When I'm looking for breaks, I'm mostly looking for a good kick, a good snare, mostly a good snare, and then a good crash. Anything else is just texture, kind of, because you can always replace the kick drum. You can always make your own kick drum. There's plenty of kick drums to go around. I really like the bulldozer. Find something not too complicated. See, there's so many. I could choose. I could choose through these all day. All right. So I'm going with this one. All right. So now, first things first. It's not lining up, right? It sounds good, but it's not lining up with our grid, right? This sample is obviously not at the right tempo. So it's a simple, easy fix. We have to go in, we have to fix it. So there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to teach all of the ones that I know because I use them all. So firstly, over here, we have a couple of settings. We have the fade edit controls. I don't even use this one, but we also have the stretch audio when resizing audio clips. So this is very helpful, or it can be very helpful. In this situation, it will be. So if we have it off and we shorten this, it will just shorten the track, right? So this is just the same track, but we have two of them, the same audio clip. It didn't get any longer or shorter, right? So it's still going to be out of time. But if we turn the stretching on, then we can come in here and we can stretch this out. And we might have to zoom in to get right on the line, but then we can line it up right with our grid. And then if we turn the metronome on and press play, now the drums are on the grid. Wow, amazing. Again, we're going really beginner friendly with this, just really top down. So okay, cool. We have our drums. This is great, but currently we haven't done anything to our drums, right? Part of jungle music is not just taking a sample and like putting it in the song, but you also have to mess with it, manipulate it, chop up the breaks to make it something special, you know, make it your own, give it some sort of unique rhythm. So next we're going to talk about audio clip manipulation. So up here we have all kinds of useful tools, but the most useful, the one that we use the most, is a draw, right, which allows you to you know, paint waveforms, delete waveforms with just your left and right click. But also in here we have the slice tool, which is going to be very useful if we want to chop up our breaks in the actual timeline here. Now we're staying in the timeline because we haven't talked about the mixing channel or the patterns yet. We're going to get there, but first we're talking about the timeline. Because this is your song, essentially. Your timeline here, and here, I'll just get rid of everything else. When I say timeline, I mean this here. The playlist arrangement. Anyways, so we're going to continue to manipulate these audio clips. What if we wanted to do 2 kicks? Oh, well, okay, we'll make it simple. So we have our cut tool. I'm just going to cut this in half and move the other half way over here. Then I can take this, and if I just click on it, then it becomes the color that I'm painting with, essentially. So then I can put that here. So we shouldn't go to that final turnaround of the break for a while here, for too long maybe. Very cool. It's different, it's new, it's not the same thing over and over again, but we can even change it a little more. Like let's say we want this kick to hit twice. So there, because we turn the stretch tool off, now I can lengthen and shorten these at whim. So if I want this one to be longer, but I want this one to be shorter, and then maybe back to a long one, I can control that just by grabbing the edges and moving them. Now this part should sound different. Should have some stutter to it, some groove. Yeah. If we really want to get funky with it, we can even take this part and do it twice. Very cool. All right, we're going to keep on keeping on. So next, let's say we want to do something else with this. Like we want to manipulate this in a way, but we don't want to change any of the other ones because currently these are all the same clip. If I do something to this one, like increase the time here, then the time on all of them is going to increase. So I want to edit this one individually. All I have to do is open it up, click on it, and hit make unique. Now that it's unique, now if I change this one, it won't affect anything else. So now what I can do is I can turn back on the stretch tool and stretch it way out to get this slow motion. Now we have one clip in slow motion. Just to give it some more bounce, I'm gonna turn the stretch tool back off and put in this little fill. You know, I want a snare in there, so I can cut that in half, extend it out. There we go. So I could do the same thing here, make unique, come in, but this time we're gonna do something different. So this here, what I just opened up, is the sampler, essentially. This is what is processing your audio. So if you want to make any effects to the audio, the drum break that we put in, we can. So one of my favorite ones here is reverse. So now we can reverse this so that it goes backwards. How cool of a transition into the next part of our track, right? You can also normalize your audio. If you recorded or if a sample comes in at way too quiet, you can hit normalize and it should normalize the clip, making everything in the waveform to a similar level. You can change the pitch here if you want. And that doesn't always change the length as well. So what we could do here is in the mode, the time stretching mode, we can go to stretch, and that will just stretch out the audio. It will try and keep the same key. That way, if we resample it, right, then it will become pitched. I hope that made sense. Anyways, we've got all these drums here, but there's even more ways to get nerdy with these drums. So I will go into yet another one. So one thing we could do with our drums here is we take them and we can right click in the audio and we can open in Slice X channel. So this is Slice X. It chops up our drums and then puts all the hits to a different key on our keyboard. And then up here we have a dump to MIDI, which is, we're going to press that. It's very important because then if we come over to our patterns window, then we have a MIDI form of our drums. So we're going to start talking about patterns now. So in FL Studio, you have the playlist where you can edit audio, and you can also add MIDI. Right, so here now we have the audio, the actual like audio clip of the drums. This is straight recorded from the song that has this drum break. And then we have the MIDI, which the difference is that I can open it up here in MIDI and I can change it and edit it how I like. MIDI, you can also do things like piano, bass. We'll get into those in a minute, but this is how you can get your drum breaks into MIDI so that you can program your drums in MIDI. And doing that makes it a lot easier to do a lot of cool, fun, jungle fill type stuff. For example, we have this little, we got this fill here, but let's say I want to do something special. I want to do a little hi-hat roll, right? Where it goes up. So what I can do is I can take the hi-hat, which is this marker 3, and then if I click into the note, we have all these different options. So I can take this one and turn the pitch up, and we can do a little ascending trill sort of thing. It would sound better if it was faster. So in MIDI, there's a couple different ways to edit notes. If you grab them at the end, you can just shorten all of them at once if they're selected, or if it's just one, you'll just shorten the one. Or you can grab this arrow, which will compress everything together. Now, this is not anything too crazy, but it can be very helpful. For instance, if we want to do like some triplets or something, for example, switch out the patterns, get rid of that. And then we can just stretch all of these out to fill the space. And now we have a little polyrhythm. Wacky. Okay, so here in the channel rack, or the pattern builder, as I like to call it, this is where we have all of our instruments, our MIDI instruments. So that's why we have the drums here, is because we bounced it to the MIDI. So now we have access to it. We can edit it and do a whole bunch of crazy things. But we can also throw in, like here we have a kick. Kind of sucks, but you can throw it in there. Right, like... So essentially, and then we'll get into this, maybe we'll use this a little bit later for making some original beats and patterns, but it's essentially a drum machine. It's just another way of doing what we just did in the MIDI, programming different drums. So don't worry about that. Now you may be asking yourself, what are these numbers here next to the sounds, and why doesn't our Aim & Break have one? Well, that is the mixing board. So the mixing board is actually where all of your sounds come from. You have, or this is like the sound output. It's where the sound comes out of. So you have your instruments, you have your audio files, or your audio tracks, and even those you can assign to a mixing channel. So I'm going to go ahead and assign this break to the number 1, and then in the channel rack, I'm going to assign the MIDI version of the break to channel 2. And now you'll see when we play our song, down here, it's moving. So we've got levels. We can see how loud our tracks are. Now this is going to be very helpful later when we have a whole slew of instruments playing and we've got this big complex beat. We kind of just have drums right now, so it's not that big a deal. We'll come back around to it because there's a lot of stuff you can do in the mixing board. And when you get into the mixing stage, it's very important to understand how this works and how the output works. So anyways, right now, let's get back to making the music. We've got this break here in MIDI now. Very cool. Let's see, what else can we do? Okay, so here's a good one. We can also affect the velocity of the notes. So down here is how loud and quiet. You can also see it in here. We'll edit the velocity here. If we lower this all the way down, it'll jump down there. But the easiest way to change is to just use a little pencil tool and draw it in here. So what we can do is we do a little fade out, and then it'll sound like it's getting far away. Now I want to do the same kind of thing, but backwards. So if we draw it up, then it'll fade in. Yes, love it. Here's what I'm going to do. Move this over, and this is where we're going to introduce our bass. So now I'll show you how to work with, we're going to make this unique first and get rid of the Aim & Break because we don't want the break to be playing at the same time as our bass. I'm just keeping them separate for now. So this plus button here, if you hit that, it'll open up your plugins. Now, these plugins are generators. They make sound. Now, we want to make sound because we want a bass line, right? So FL Studio built in has a couple cool ones. Like Flex is pretty cool, especially if you're looking for like 808s. Let's see. That sounds whack. See, some of these are cool, but personally, I'm not a fan. Especially because so there becomes a certain point in your musical journey where you will stop relying on plugins, and you'll start or start relying on presets and start relying on yourself, and you start building your own sounds, right? So uh, instead of using this destroyed 808, I'm gonna go make my own jungle sub. So instead, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get rid of that. I'm going to, if you ever have a plugin that you don't want, you can go down to replace and then just choose the one that you do want. I'm going to choose Serum 2, and I just have we're going to make a super simple jungle sub. Analog BD sign, simple. And then we're going to turn the decay down and hold. Actually, I might give it some hold. I do like a little bit of like 808 sustain on my bass. That's fun. And then I also have distortion on it, and a little coarse pitch. I don't remember exactly what I did. I have it saved as a preset. Let me know if you want a jungle sub tutorial. We do that too. Anyways, for now, I'm just gonna make a little pattern here. Let's see. All right, so, oh, I like, that's fun. There we go. Cool, we've got a bass line. So I'm gonna highlight these and then shift drag, that's copy paste. This is gonna be our first little drop section. This be our intro, this be a drop. All right, so I think next we want some pads or some sort of atmosphere. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it inside this Blue Martin sample pack. They have a lot of cool pads. I like this one, the Love Pad. That does sound lovely. So I'm going to make this one unique, and I'm gonna cut that. And we're gonna come in, and I'm going to open a new sampler, and I'm gonna throw my Love Pad into the sampler. Now you can also just kind of drag and drop the Love Pad into any of the existing samplers, but this will allow us to open it in the piano roll. Also, if you click on the track button, it'll set it to whichever track is available. Really handy when you lose track of what you're doing. Okay, over here, we have the cut self button, and that's going to be really important because if we open this in the piano roll, it might play over itself and create a bad tone, but we don't. We want it to play one after the other. So we're going to go and we're going to hit cut self. Okay, that sounds really bad, so we're not gonna copy the bass line. We're gonna make our own little pattern. And we have to go back and change our bass, that's fine. Cooking. We've gotten ourselves a wacky, silly jungle beat here. It's coming together. So here, just gonna add a little more extra atmosphere, stretch this guy way out, put it on stretch, assign it to a track. Let's see, can we push it even further? cool, but we can make it even cooler. So now we're going to talk about effectors. So not generators, not things that make sound, but things that affect the sound. So back to the mixing board. We have the mixing board, and I mean, we really have like 4 things now, right? We have the drums, we have the bass, we have pad number 1, and we have pad number 1, and we have pad number 2. So for pad number 2 here, this God chord pad, I think it just sounds kind of flat. I want it to be like atmospheric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some reverb on it. I've got Fruity Reverb. Fruity Reverb is pretty good. I like it. Great, easy to use. You can increase the size of the room or make it smaller. And then you can increase the dry sound, or the dry sound is the sound that comes in, and then the wet sound is the effect itself. So if I turn only the wet up, sounds cool, but might be too much. I think we need some dry in there. Maybe a good balance of both. I think that sounds good. There's all kinds of different effects, right? Like chorus is a good one. But yeah, effects are really cool. They help to make the song not so samey. So for instance, here we're kind of just repeating this drum pattern, right? So if we want this drum pattern to not be so boring, we can throw some effects on it. So let's grab this little part here. On the drums, if I throw like a flanger, then it goes through the flanger. That's cool. So now we're going to talk about automation. Automation is what gives your mix and your song dynamics. So it's very important, because I could just leave it the same here, but it's not going to be any fun. It's not interesting. It's not interesting to hear the same thing over and over again. So whatever little automation you can do, that little subtlety is going to make your mix like 10 times better than anybody else's. So easy, super simple, easy one that we could do right here. We've got this flanger. We can right click on the volume knob and create an automation clip. Now you can not only automate like how much a effect is in your mix, but you can also automate things like the volume knobs. You can automate almost anything in FL Studio. There's a crazy amount of control you have with the automation, which is great because, as I said, automation really helps you to like make your track special. So I'm going to take this, and you can right click to move points on the graph, left click to move points on the graph, and right click to place points on the graph. So I'm going to place one here and one here, and then I'll have it come back down actually right before the trill, so that we'll go out with the trill, and then when it comes back in, it'll be normal again. So now here's what it sounds like. Not too bad, but I think it's a little much. So missing a drum there? There we go. So just do it again. I'll do it again just to show you. We'll find another effect. So let's see. What about chorus? Lovely. And so click, create automation clip. And then we make it come in here and drop out there. Revolver is another reverb. I like it. It's these pads are clashing more than I'd like. So you know what, we'll bring the intro back. And then we'll bring the chorus back. Got it in my head, I just need to... I think that's it. I think this is the bass line. You still do a little jungle is best when it's got those dub bass lines. think this God chord is too low. So what we're gonna do is come in here, and we're gonna, this is an EQ. So EQ is the next big thing. When it comes to mixing, EQ is very important. So right here what we have is we can see all of the different frequencies that this sound is making. So I think that some of these frequencies are overlapping with our bass, which, let's see what our bass is looking like. Fruity Parametric EQ2 is what I like to use. Yeah, our bass is right around here. There's some very powerful overtones. So here we're gonna go in, and I'm gonna just destroy a lot of these, which might hurt it a lot, but we can go in and throw another effect on there to just beef it up a little. Here is I can make this unique, and I can make these guys fade in slowly. I don't think they're fading in slowly. That's okay, whatever. I don't know why that's not working. Okay, ignore that. One last thing. So we've got a pretty solid looking track here. Not too long, not too short. But this is still the same part, so we're gonna find a way to switch this up a little. So the last thing I want to show you is Grosbeat, because Grosbeat is overpowered. So Grosbeat is another plugin, and this one is another one that's great for making jungle music specifically, because it is like a drum glitcher. Basically, you're affecting the time and you're affecting the volume. Up top is the time, down below is the volume. So this will make it go faster, slower. And by making patterns on these grids, you can affect the time and the volume of your track. So if we wanted like a gate, that's funky pattern. Anyways, so what's great about this is that you don't just need to choose one to be on your drums always, but you can also automate this, because each of these are assigned to a number. So I'm going to click on the empty one, and I'm going to create an automation clip. So now we've got this automation clip. So now we can go through and we can find some patterns that we like to put on our drums. So that's cool. So we're going to copy it and put it there, paste the value, and then I think it should last till here. I'll paste the value again. Nice. This one looks cool. Let's try this one. Ooh, yeah, that's fun. We can also always choose a random one. See what this one looks like. I don't even know. That's not bad. There we go. Now we've got more drum chops, but we didn't have to chop any by hand. We did it through the power of computer automation. How wonderful. I usually use, for the master, I like to use a Fruity Soft Clipper. So the master channel is here. It's just what all of these other ones are routed to. Right, so all of these channels are going to come out the master. So you can think of all of these like outputs. Down here, they kind of visualize it with like a wire going there, but you can also attach the wire other places, right? So for instance, if I wanted to make these drums more powerful, I could reroute them to another channel here. And just already, the drums feel more powerful. But if I wanted to make them even stronger, I could throw a limiter on both the drums. The limiter kind of just equalizes all of the frequencies. It makes it sound louder without actually making it any louder. It makes it louder, but it actually sounds like it makes it quieter. Or it makes it quieter, but it actually makes it feel like it's louder. So right now I'm just mixing the track. I'm just trying to see what volume ranges sound good. Right? Is the God pad too quiet? Is it too loud? Maybe the other pad's not loud enough. Just adding a little more details, little finishing touches. Don't forget to save. All right, so we've got like almost a whole track here. Wow. So the last thing we have to do is export. So I think actually I want one more drums at the end. I love drums. No, let's do these ones. That the fade outs gangster. When's the last time you heard a song with a fade out? Exactly. Cool. Okay, we're done. So save, and we're gonna go export, and I'm gonna export as an MP3. Recently, I've been using MP3s just because uh, it helps. There's so many times where I pull up to DJ decks and then they don't take wave or they don't take FLAC, and then I'm like, well, now I need to go whip out the MP3 USB. Anyways, thank you for coming along with this journey. I hope you learned something. I hope that you now understand the basics of FL Studio, that being like the playlist arranger, the mixing board, and the pattern editor. I hope that you have a good understanding now of how to use FL Studio. We did a little bit of everything. Using what you learned, you should be able to make all kinds of genres, right? Like most EDM is sample based, trap, rap, hip hop, those kind of genres are also sample based, right? Lots of drums, lots of kits out there that you could find that you can use. Um, if you guys want me to teach you anything specific, like I don't know, hard techno or up tempo, let me know. Anyways, thank you for watching. Good luck in your production journey.